Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Lakers linked to $215 million star amid stellar preseason play, report. Chicago Bulls rejuvenated star Zach Lavine is once again linked to the Los Angeles Lakers amid his stellar preseason play. Trade talks between the Bulls and the Lakers for Lavine are likely to resume again, Clutch Point's Anthony Irwin reported on Thursday, October 17. One name league sources say to keep an eye on is Zach Lavine, who has played well in preseason in his return from foot surgery, Irwin wrote. Chicago and the Lakers held trade talks last season and briefly over the summer, and sources say those talks will almost assuredly pick up back this year with Lavine looking healthy again. Lavine appears to have fully recovered from his right foot surgery in February. In 3 preseason games so far, Lavine is averaging 18.0 points on 55/60/100 shooting split in 23.9 minutes. He's also producing 3.3 assists against 1.3 turnovers, 2.3 rebounds and 1.3 steals. More importantly, the Bulls have outscored their opponents by 6 points per 100 possessions when Lavine is on the court. While it's just preseason games, it has been encouraging to see Lavine getting closer back to his all-star form after injuries limited him to just 25 games last season. Lakers front office led by General Manager and Vice President of Basketball Operations Rob Pelinka might have to act fast before Lavine's value improves if his stellar play continues. The two-time NBA All-Star guard has 3 years and $138 million remaining in his 5-year $215 million contract with a $48.9 million player option for the 2026-27 season. Since the Lakers are over the first apron, they cannot take back more salary in a trade than it sends out. To get to Lavine's $43 million salary for this season, it would cost the Lakers 3 of their rotation players, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, and either Jared Vanderbilt or Gabe Vincent, Los Angeles Times' Dan Woik wrote in September. A 3-for-1 trade will also open up 2 roster spots for the Lakers, who still have the $5.2 million taxpayer mid-level exception. If the Lakers opt to keep Vanderbilt, then Vincent, Markelle Fultz, Dennis Smith Jr. and Pat Beverly, who has an NBA opt-out clause in his Tel Aviv contract, could be their options to fill up their point guard holes. They can even pick up a center in the free agent market, which Lakers coach J.J. Redick is seeking to help Anthony Davis in their frontcourt using the other roster spot. All 3 veterans are defensive-minded point guards who can complement Austin Reeves in their backcourt. LeBron James, Reeves or even Lavine can also function as their point guards in non-traditional lineups if they make the trade. When the Lakers mulled their options at the February trade deadline, James was open to a trade for 2 guards who were linked to them at that time, according to The Athletic. One of them was the Bulls' 2-time NBA All-Star guard. James was also in support of the Lakers trading for DeJounte Murray or Zach Lavine, 2 Clutch Sports clients, in the weeks and months leading into the 2024 trade deadline, according to those sources. Sam Amick, Anthony Slater, and Jovan Buha reported on February 14. Lavine's injury-riddled season saw his trade value drastically drop. The Bulls desperately looked to unload him, but there were no takers. And despite James' interest in having Lavine as a teammate, the Lakers stood pat and did not make a move this offseason. Will they change their stance now that Lavine is back in harness? Bronny James had the highest plus-minus for the Lakers against the Suns. Bronny James turned a corner during the Lakers' 128-122 win over the Suns in their penultimate preseason games. Putting up 4 points and 2 rebounds on 2-4 shooting from the field, James finished the game with a plus-minus of +17, the highest for the Lakers. Jalen Hood-Schifino was right behind him with +12, followed by Jackson Hayes and Armel Traore with +10 each. Last night was the highest plus-minus score Bronny has registered during the preseason, with his earlier scores being far worse. He started off against the Timberwolves with a -12, followed by the Suns with a -16, a -12 against the Timberwolves, followed by a neutral 0 against the Warriors. For the uninitiated, a plus-minus score of a player indicates the impact they had on the game and how the scoreline changed while they were on the court. For example, if a player has a +5 plus-minus, it means that during their time on the court, their team went up by 5 points. Whereas, a score of -5 would mean that their team went down by 5 points while they were on the court. Given where Bronny's plus-minus scores were ranging in the first few preseason games, it is clear that there has been an improvement in what he brings to the Lakers when he is on the court, even if he is not directly contributing with points, assists, or other statistical contributions. Bronny's preseason run hasn't been great, as he averages 1.6 points, 1.0 rebounds, 0.2 assists, 0.0 steals, and 0.8 blocks per game. Of course, these numbers do not appear impressive, but we must remember that Bronny is a late second-round pick who is most likely to spend much of the next season with the Lakers' G League unit. Establishing that fact helps fans determine what Bronny's ceiling currently is. Los Angeles Lakers expected to hold trade talks for Chicago Bulls player. The Los Angeles Lakers have a limited window if they are to go on another championship run with LeBron James. At the moment, they look far from being even outside contenders. Could it lead to them trying to bring in a Chicago Bulls star? It is never a good idea to look too deep into preseason performances, but the fact of the matter is that the Lakers are 1-3. They lost in one-sided games against the Golden State Warriors and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Their only win has come against the Milwaukee Bucks. There has been so much talk about Bronny James coming into the team, but the reality of the situation is that he is a rotational player, at best, right now. As one would have, or at least should have, expected. Bronny has gone scoreless in 2 of those 4 preseason games. In the other 2, he has scored a combined 4 points. LeBron is still great. But he is set to turn 40 soon. He is no longer someone who can power a team to the NBA Finals. LeBron and Anthony Davis need some help if the Lakers are to be competitive this season. Could Zach Lavine be the answer for them? According to Anthony Irwin on Clutch Points, league sources say to keep an eye on Lavine. The Bulls and the Lakers held trade talks last season and briefly over the summer, and sources say those talks will almost assuredly pick up back this year with him looking healthy again. Lavine has returned to the court this preseason, after undergoing season-ending surgery in February. And he has looked pretty good, and should get even better as he gets more minutes in the tank. At his best, Lavine could be an asset to the Lakers and many teams around the league for that matter. It is not hard to understand why they might be interested. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Zach Lavine? Leave your opinion in the comments.